Greetings, fellow Earthlings and viewers across the World Wide Web. This is Tune 215, and we're back with another tour. Today we're going to be doing a walking tour of the Olde Kensington neighborhood to the Northern Liberties neighborhood. They're both right across from each other. You guys are now experiencing 360 VR immersive video. If this is your first time watching this type of video on YouTube, let me explain to you how it works. If you're watching on a mobile device, like a cell phone, all you have to do is move your phone left, right, up, down. You can look all around and see what's around me at any given time. You might have to watch the video more than once to take in all the action. Now, if you're watching on a console like PlayStation or Xbox and or a computer, you can use your D-pad and or the mouse, the directional pad, to look around me manually. Now, if you have a set of VR glasses, then you're gonna get the best experience watching this type of video. But yeah, so right now we're in the Olde Kensington neighborhood, not to be confused with the notorious North Kensington. Most people do not know that there are 4 separate neighborhoods that all carry the same name, Kensington. However, they are all different areas. Right now we're in Olde Kensington, which comes after the Norris Square neighborhood. You have North Kensington, you have West Kensington, you have East Kensington, and we're currently in Olde Kensington, O-L-D-E Kensington. Now, majority of the Kensingtons have already been gentrified and or are being gentrified as we speak, meaning they're a lot cleaner areas than what you guys are used to seeing in the notorious zombie Kensington videos. That's in North Kensington. Make note, that's less than a half a mile, not even, from here. That goes to show you, it looks like worlds apart. These houses are pretty well maintained. The neighborhood's pretty clean, but that's less than a half a mile from here. That's a good 8-minute walk from here, depending on how fast you walk. Maybe like a 5-minute drive. But yeah, it's relatively close. And that little strip that you guys see in North Kensington where everybody is on substances, that's like 8 or 9 blocks out of a large neighborhood. North Kensington is relatively large. North Kensington is not small. It's a large neighborhood. So, but right now we're in Olde Kensington. This neighborhood has a lot of new residents. As far as the new homes go, a lot of the new homes are geared towards people coming to live in the city. On that side, right now we're under the Front Street train track. This is the Market Frankfurt line. Right here we're on Front Street. However, Front Street turns into Kensington when you get to York Street. Right when you get to York, a couple blocks up, it cuts over in an angle and it turns to Kensington Avenue, which travels you up through the Kensington neighborhood. On my left-hand side, on my right-hand side, we got Olde Kensington neighborhood. On my left-hand side, we got Fishtown. That's a separate neighborhood in itself. Then behind us, past Cecil B Moore, we have the Norris Square neighborhood. Then several blocks later, we have the West Kensington neighborhood. On my left-hand side is Fishtown, but behind Fishtown is East Kensington. After Fishtown and after East Kensington is Old Richmond. So those are the neighborhoods that's within this little vicinity. If we keep going to our far right, if we pass 5th Street, we'll run into the Ludlow neighborhood. If we cross Girard, which is traveling southbound, right now we're walking southbound. Behind me is northbound, on my right is westbound, on my left is eastbound. If we travel southbound, past Girard, we'll be in the Poplar neighborhood. Where we're at right now, we're like 3 or 4 blocks from Girard. Once we pass that, we'll be in the Northern Liberties neighborhood. So this is the little vicinity that we're gonna be taking a look at today. We're only gonna focus on this little strip of Olde Kensington, which is the nicer area of Olde Kensington. And then we're gonna go and take a look at Northern Liberties. Both of these neighborhoods are, at the moment, prominent neighborhoods. They're rising amongst the artsy, I guess you can say the hipster community. It's pretty affordable. You have access to the train station. There's a lot of bars, pubs, nightlife, restaurants. I'm gonna stay quiet because the train's about to pass. You guys could look up. So I'm gonna make this right-hand turn because, as you guys can see, there was a whole family there with luggage. They look like they could have been tourists, maybe visiting a family member, maybe they just visiting Philly for the first time. But I turned because I don't want to impede their visit, and I don't want to have to, you know, work around them. But you guys can take a look around me. Please pick up your shit. We love you. Yo, that sign was funny. The restaurant left that sign, yo. But you guys can look on my left, you guys can look on my right. The train was behind me. You have a train that runs northbound and a train that runs southbound. However, under the ground, they kind of turn. So the Market Frankfurt line will take you to West Philly, and then it'll also take you to Frankfurt Terminal, which is like the entrance of Northeast. So, and then we got the sub. The sub runs northbound and southbound under Broad Street. So we're gonna make this left-hand turn. We were just on Master. Right now we're on Howard Street. On my right-hand side, this is a perfect example of the new buildings they're making. They're dropping these everywhere. Like I'm talking about fast. They're dropping them within months. There's a lot of mixed emotions on these buildings. A lot of people don't like them. Some people like them, some people don't. Some people say they were made too fast. Some people say that they lack quality. I don't know how quality control was back in the 1910s and 1920s when they made the original houses. Many people swear by the original houses. I agree. I was born and raised in one of those original brick homes that's still standing to this day. But I think people lose faith in modern technology and I guess the labor of modern day employees, and feel as though that they don't take their quality as serious. Like they don't, you know, they rush it basically. But if you think about it, I think the same materials were used to make both houses. I think if you were to take one of our 1920 houses made in the early 1900s and you were to disassemble them, dismantle them, you would find brick. You may or may not find sheathing. You'll find insulation. Then you would find a wood frame, which is pretty much what these are made of also. A base, the foundation is frosted cement. Then you have the wood frame. Then you have the sheathing, which is the insulation on the exterior. Then you have the interior insulation. Then you have the sheetrock. Then you have the exterior siding and or the brick. Look on this side. Look on my left-hand side. This house right here, look up. Look at it. Look on my left-hand side, but look up. That's a rusted home. That goes to show you the stylization that they are implementing in some of these homes. But I would assume that they're of similar quality, although they're made faster. I mean, we are in 2021, ladies and gentlemen. We are in 2021. A lot of people, let's make this right-hand turn on Thompson. The old Johann's boxing gym used to be right here, if I'm correct, on my left-hand side, at Howard and Thompson. They bought it out and knocked it down many years ago, I think in the early 2000s, and they made those homes. But we are in the future, ladies and gentlemen. So, you know, a lot of people say they build them too fast. But think about the technology that we have today. You know what I mean? We do have tools at our disposal versus what they had back in the day. But I don't think none of us were around in 1920 to see how a home was made in 1920, right? So I don't know, to each his own. Some of them do look nice, some of them do look tacky. Like, I guess the taste is based on, you know, they say beauty is in the eyes of the beholder. It's based on, you know, each and every person. So we're walking by Masher. Masher's a beautiful block. And then there's a mixture of original homes, and then there's a mixture of new homes. Like on my left, look on my left. You guys will see that these homes are relatively tall compared to the ones from the past. I noticed that zoning isn't keeping them the same height. I'm surprised when they take it to the zoning board and they, you know, pay to get the home approved. I'm surprised that the city isn't saying keep them the same height. A lot of them are towering over. In some cases, for example, look across the street. We're on Hancock and Thompson. Look across the street. Look at that corner home, right? Then look at the home directly next to it. You see the home directly next to it? With the stucco? It's not as tall. That goes to show you that that's, I would say, a whole floor taller, but it's still 3 floors. So what that tells me is that the ceilings, they're making the ceilings a lot, I guess, taller, you know, like more height with the ceiling versus a lot of the original homes from back then. The ceilings may not be as high. And they're also making them fuller, meaning back in the day, the original row homes, they were made like a step. In the back, if you look at the back of the property, it was like steps. It would just go like up, down, you know what I mean? It was like a step pattern. Nowadays, it's more or less like a cube. They lay them out like they drop cubes everywhere. And then, greetings, sir. And they drop the cubes and they leave them like even, like an even box. You know what I mean? I don't know if that makes any sense. I'll show you an example. On the left-hand side, we have some town-looking homes. On the right-hand side, we have some new apartment units. Yeah, we have a variety of new apartment units. Greetings, greetings. Oh, gas leak? All right, thank you. Yeah, he said gas leak. I'm getting away from that. Not getting me with that one, but yeah. So these buildings on my right-hand side, apartments. I would assume something like this would probably range anywhere from, on the low end, maybe $1,800 a month to probably on the high end, $2,500, maybe $3 grand a month. I'm just estimating, I do not know. However, I'm sure you can always get an idea by looking up property values if you desire to do so. For example, you got the back driveway here, right? Look up. Remember I said that the homes are like cubes? Like an even cube? This is one of those examples. So, I'm gonna make this left on Master. Hancock and Master. We got Hancock and Jefferson Playground on my right-hand side behind me. We're passing 172 West Master Street. We're approaching Master and Palethorpe. Now we got a lot of original homes on my right. Now, as I was saying earlier, look at this lot. I've seen some areas where it'd be a whole block of original homes, right? Then as of 2-3 years ago, they built a taller home. I would say a whole floor taller. For example, right there. Look right there, look up. Look at my left-hand side. See, old house, old house, old house, old house. Boom, a new house towering over all of them. Then boom, back to an old house that's shorter. Then boom, to a new house towering over all of them, right? I've seen in some cases where they build a new house that's towering over the original old houses. Then they'll go build another new house that's towering over the other new house. So then if you walk the rooftops, it's like a ladder. It goes up high. So on my left-hand side, you'll notice that I'm gonna cross the street so that you guys can take it in, because if not, you're not gonna be able to see it. They're doing a new mural, an octopus mural, on this corner bar right here. I just crossed the street just so that you can see it. Look on my left-hand side. Look at that octopus they painted. It's in black and white. It's right here on 2nd and Master. Across the street, we got a Mexican restaurant. Authentic Mexican food, but take a look at it. You see that octopus, right? It's pretty cool. They just started painting that, I would say, less than a week ago. They literally just added that. It's a cool design. It's a cool piece of artwork. Although I'm not a fan of octopus, but definitely a cool creature nonetheless. But on my right hand side, so for example, for many years, that lot was abandoned. That lot was huge. It took the whole block from that new building right there all the way to the corner. That was an empty lot. Look at my left-hand side. Could you imagine taking a sofa up this set of steps right here? Imagine walking up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19. Then you had 20 steps just to get upstairs. Could you imagine carrying a sofa up there? Look at report illegal dumping. If you see this, report illegal dumping. Get the address where the dumping is located, snap a picture of the area, write a description, send it via email to southkensingtoncommunity.org. You see, remember I was telling you guys earlier, this is the old Kensington neighborhood, but since it's south of North Kensington, some people call it South Kensington, but on the map it's classified as Old Kensington. Kind of like Old City or Old Richmond. Like Old Richmond is south of Port Richmond. So yeah, I think the old tries to give it like a historic, classy feel. You have several neighborhoods that all carry the same entrance name of Old. So anyway, back to this building on my right. They just finished that building less than a year ago. Check out this old Porsche right here. Speaking of old, look at this old Porsche. But yeah, so that building is now, I believe, luxury apartments. And could you imagine by the size of it, they've probably welcomed 100 to 200 new residents in this community. Just on that building alone. There's tons and tons of those buildings being dropped everywhere, as well as houses. They're building houses, they're building apartments, they're building lofts, and they're dropping them like wildfire. Now, I was born and raised in this community, in this neighborhood. I walked through this neighborhood as I was a kid. I drove through it, I'm sure when I was born. My pop had me in the back seat, in the car seat, driving through this neighborhood. This is the neighborhood that I was born and raised in, right? It didn't look like this. I can tell you, even from my teen years, when I used to walk through here, it was more desolate, it was more abandoned. This area, this old Kensington area, always was a lot more affluent than East Kensington, than West Kensington, than North Kensington. That's because this is closer to the city. Whatever's closer to the city usually gets sought after and taken care of before the other areas, sadly enough to say, because it's closer to the tourist section, touristy neighborhoods, you know what I mean? But there was a building right here with a beautiful mural on it for many years. They just knocked that down less than 6 months ago. Guess what they're gonna put there? The same thing. Look at all those tall buildings. All those tall buildings that you see? See those tall buildings, tall buildings, tall buildings? Those weren't there. Those are brand new. You look at my left, look at, yeah, old building, old building. Boom, look, what do you see? A brand new building. Look at, look up. Look up, ladies and gentlemen. Look at the doorway. Apartments, apartments. Look at it again, apartments. Look at my left, brand new ones. Apartments, 1, 2, 3, 4 units. 1, 2, 3, 4 units. So you look across the street, you got some original townhome looking row homes. Look across the street. Those have been in the neighborhood. Those are the original homes. The ones on my left, the original homes. However, I give it another 5, 10 years, this area will be like a mini Manhattan. It's gonna be cluttered. They're gonna continue building up because the space width-wise is running out. They're gonna try to maximize on profits, meaning build 8, 10, 20 units per slot so they can pick up several rents. Could you imagine you have a slot, you're making 2, 3 grand rent per apartment, and you got 4 apartments, that's 8, 10 grand a month. You understand? And they'll continue doing what they can to maximize profit. Gentrification is the process of displacement of the original residents through a tax increase. They do things like look down, take a look down. You guys will see new sidewalks. You guys will see new handicap entrances. You guys will see new street poles. Look at, we're on Girard, 2nd and Girard. All those things drive property values up and also increase taxes. They'll renovate the playgrounds. They'll fix local entrances to, like, let's say the L, the train, the terminal. They'll basically do little enhancements, and those enhancements will drive property values up, then drive taxes up, which will then wean out original residents who've been in this neighborhood for 20, 30, 40, 50 years, who were paying $200 a year on taxes, who were paying $300, $400 a year on taxes. Now they would spend $1,200, $1,400, $2,000 a year on tax and rising. Imagine if they're on a fixed income. They're not going to be able to afford that. Now, on my right hand side, you guys can take a look at this building. They just made that. There was a little corner pizzeria building that was there for years that was abandoned. And there was a whole lot behind it. They knocked that down. They ended up building that. On my left hand side, there used to be a distributor. It was like a beer wine distributor. Greetings, sir. It was like a beer wine distributor. That's no longer there. They did this project right here on my left hand side probably, I would say 16, 17 years ago. They built this here, give or take roughly. Right now we're in the Northern Liberties neighborhood. Once we crossed Girard, we were in the Northern Liberties neighborhood. That's the difference. Remember I told you that Olde Kensington was connected to Northern Liberties via Girard Avenue. That's the borderline. But that used to be a block right there, ladies and gentlemen. It was a lot, and you'll see that there was a block. The block is gonna be a thing of the past. And on my left-hand side, there was another block. Guess what they did? They bought out the block. You know you gotta have some ching, you gotta have some paper, you gotta have some dollar bills, y'all, to buy out a block and close it. Now, all this is all new, guys. Yeah, now there's detours in the neighborhood. Not to mention this whole strip, back when I used to go to college, this whole strip right here, I used to walk this route to go to college sometimes on like 18th and Spring Garden and all of that. Make note, Toon does visit this Acme right here. There's an Acme upstairs, there's a dollar store, there's a wine and spirits. I don't go to wine and spirits, but there's a couple of businesses right here, but I do visit the Acme. But this whole strip back in, I would say 2006, 2007, when I used to walk this, was desolate. This was a desolate strip. There was no stop signs, there was no red lights from Girard straight to Spring Garden. I would say probably Brown, just to be fair. There was no stop signs, no slowing down. They got speed bumps, they got crosswalks, they got stop signs. They basically slowed everything down because of the influx of businesses that are coming to the neighborhood or have came to the neighborhood. This was a two-lane street that you could flow through fluidly, like a stream of water. Now, since this is a tourist section, if you come to Philadelphia, stop by Northern Liberties on a Friday night. This area right here, Thursday night, or even a Saturday night, and watch how many people are sitting out here, dining at these tables, dining at the restaurants, people getting dropped off in Ubers, people from all walks of life coming here. This is the new it place to be. It used to be South Street, it used to be Old City, now it's this neighborhood. And the eerie part about it is, when I used to work for a nonprofit organization for many years, I remember I was with this organization for roughly about 10 years, and I remember the executive director of the organization, she knew me growing up. She always knew of me, and she put me down on, you know, certain details and information. She gave me the heads up that this was going to happen before it happened. I repeat, she gave me the heads up that this was going to happen before it happened. In the year 2000, 2001, 2002, I used to attend community meetings related to land trust, related to zoning, you know, as a community member. And she gave us the heads up. She told the community, and she told me specifically, she showed me plans and everything, what was gonna happen. And you know, when you're a kid, you don't believe it. You're like, nah. She told me, she said, that the type of nightlife that's on South Street is gonna come down this way. And it's still not finished. Her final input was American Street, which is in West Kensington. Well, American Street runs through West Kensington, runs through North Square, and runs through Old Kensington. But this was all gonna run straight down American Street. It's gonna be like South Philly, like South Street. It's gonna have that same vibe. Look, we got Heirloom Market, Heirloom. We got DGX Philadelphia. These are all apartments up there. We're passing restaurants like Ritzy Cafes. Yeah. They built the bowling alley on 2nd Street. We're on 2nd Street right now. They built the bowling alley. Yep. And Old Kensington property values are at 500, 600, 700,000, give or take. Depends on the property and depends on the amenities. But I know easily 500,000. You come to this half once you cross Spring Garden. I mean, once you cross Girard, Spring Garden is right off the block. Once you cross Girard, and then you get to this area, you're talking about property values are 6, 7, 800,000. I won't be surprised like a large building like that right there, that 2nd Street Animal Hospital, that's $1 million slot. Look at the tendenza. Yeah, this area has gotten so ritzy, I guess you can say, that you come through here, there's valet drivers. There's a group of like 10, 15 gentlemen out here in suits or in top coats or top jackets, ready to park your car. There's valet driving here. And then I finish. Now, when I used to walk through here to go through this route to go to school, it was abandoned and there was graffiti. A lot of these buildings were empty. It was desolate. I actually got a family member that still resides, who owns a property right here on Fairmount Street, 2nd and Fairmount. And I used to come to this neighborhood ever since I was a little pipsqueak to go visit her, you know. She's my pop's aunt, so I guess that would make it my second aunt. We're on 2nd and Laurel Street. But I'm gonna make this left-hand turn on Laurel, 100 block West Laurel, so that you guys can get a little idea of what some of these back blocks look like. I've taken y'all through that before. If you're familiar with the channel, I've literally taken you through driving tours of this neighborhood before. I did walking tours. I did regular 2D walking tours, and I did regular 360. So you can feel free to explore. I have over, I would say roughly about 500 tours covering all different neighborhoods of Philadelphia. Southwest Philly, West Philly, Northwest Philly, North Philly, Northeast Philly, Center City, Philadelphia. So including this neighborhood, I did this neighborhood on roughly, I would say almost a dozen occasions. And I've did it from, I would say 3.5 years ago. So even if you watch, look at this block. Look at this addition. Let's turn right here. Look at upstairs. They got solar panels, guys. All of these properties got solar panels. Look up. Look up. There must have been an initiative when this person designed this building. It looks like it's an apartment. That must be included in the pricing. They're solar, guys. Look up. And look at right across the street from the original residence. Greetings, fellow Earthlings. Yeah, they got Ring doorbell cameras. Pet waste station. Please clean up after your pet. Take a look at this property right here with the Porsche out front. Check it out. Look at the garage doorway. It looks pretty neat. Has a roof deck and all. So that goes to show you, I know a lot of people, they don't get to see the whole Philadelphia. They see one video of Philadelphia and they don't know that this exists. But it exists, it's here. And the sad thing is that it's minutes away from what some would call the ghetto. It's minutes away from what some would call urban decay. It's minutes away from the most dangerous and or extreme hoods in the city of Philadelphia. It's minutes away. Minutes away, but it feels like worlds apart. This specific neighborhood right here, as well as Old Kensington, it's a good 5 to 8 minutes away from Center City, Philadelphia. With the train, you get on the train, you'll be there in 3 minutes. 3 minutes. You get on the train, you catch the train perfectly, as long as the train don't take a lot of time, you'll get to City Hall, Philadelphia in 3 or 4 minutes. Alright, let's make this right-hand turn. I could take y'all back here, but there's some cool murals over here. I think I might want to show you guys. Yeah, check them out. Now, a lot of these buildings, like these newer ones, were built at different stages of the development of this neighborhood. These are my right there original homes. But for example, those on my left, I would say those were probably built in like the early to mid 2000s. We got some in this neighborhood that were built as of this year and or last year or 2-3 years ago or 5 years ago or 7 years ago. You know, because developers have been investing in specific neighborhoods in Philly throughout the last, you know, couple decades. But certain areas got revitalized first. All right, let's cross the street. We're on Poplar, 2nd and Poplar. All that on my right hand side. There's a bowling alley right there. I've showed y'all what it looked like before, but I didn't pass it specifically today because, you know, I didn't want it to be redundant and going through the same area again and again and again, especially for my veteran viewers. I got some viewers who've been with the channel, watching it grow, and I don't want to continue going through the same specific areas. That's why I'm cutting through the side blocks and the back blocks. Look at these murals. That's a nice mural. I actually like that mural right there. That's pretty decent. Look, you got a chicken, a rooster, whatever you want to call it. You got an eagle. He that can have patience can have what he will. Wow, that's a beautiful quote. He that can have patience can have what he will. Wow, look at this. There's a cool mural. Simon Vasquez, Elegantum. Wow, that's nice, pretty decent, right? Look at that a lot, but you know, sometimes you don't really notice the true beauty in something until you look at it up close. Driving by in a car is the same thing. So we're still in Northern Liberties, and you're gonna see that it's a well-kept area. And this is on the north side. You know, there's beautiful, well-kept areas on the south side, which will be, you know, around Washington Ave, you know, Queens Village and all of that. There's a lot of beautiful areas on the south side of the city, but not many are well aware that they are also on the north side. There's beautiful areas even in the west section of the city and in the northeast, but in between all those beautiful sections there's the hard knocks, the rougher areas. It's almost like they're strategically dropped in places like seeds, you know what I mean? You guys can feel free to look around, look behind me, turn around, look behind me. Y'all can look. It goes to show you, with the VR, virtual reality, immersive videos, you can really get a good perspective at all the things happening. That's why sometimes when people say, "Tune, why don't you shoot with 3 cameras? Point one forward, point one to the left, point one to the right." I'm like, dude, why? When I got this technology at the, you know, reach of my fingertips, literally, like, you know, I got this technology at my disposal. Look at, they're building a new setup right there. See it? On 3rd and Poplar? See it? It goes to show you. I wasn't fibbing. I'll pay attention. Greetings. Yeah, so some people stay in their comfort zone, they stay in their neighborhood and they don't get out. They stay in the neighborhood for years and years and years. Yo, is that trash over there? It looks like a whole bunch of trash. Oh no, I think they were doing some unloading. Yeah, I think that's unloading. I'm about to walk through this park so that you guys can see what this park looks like. Welcome to Liberty Lands. This is called Liberty Lands. A lot of people walk their dogs here. They bring the children here. It's a good environment, clean environment, family-oriented environment. Surprisingly, it looked like they had a miniature grill right there, which is quite strange to think of them putting something like that in an area like this, because normally, you know, charcoal and fire and all of that stuff tends to, you know, invite the wrong type of crowd, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want people just coming here hanging out, recreating, just grilling and everything, you know what I mean? But I guess they maintain it in a way where, oh, beautiful dog, man. Hey, what's up, little guy? What's up, little guy? The dog ran right to me. I guess they maintain it in a way where I guess if anybody does anything they're not supposed to, I'm sure the residents step in. But I was surprised to see a grill there. And I've been through this park. I even did a tour through this park on my scooter. I rode right through this park. But I did see a grill. There's another grill right here. Look at, there's actually having a party, make a reservation. Oh, they want you to make a reservation. Yeah, that's a grill, guys. And there's charcoal right there. You see, I wasn't lying. I'm surprised to see that, unless that's a new addition. Don't trash your park. Take your trash and recyclables out when possible. You see, this is what it looks like when a community cares about their neighborhood. This is what it looks like. It's well maintained, it's managed by the locals, and everybody can enjoy it. Look at this little sitting areas where you can sit down, take in the atmosphere. There's a little deck over there. Look at that deck. There's an actual deck that's weatherized. The gentleman over there laying down, sleeping. Look at the mural right there. Look at the birds. They got an owl, they got a big bird with a cone head, and they got a turtle. That's pretty decent. Alright, we're on Bodine and Wildy Street. You got some flowers over here on my right hand side. See the flowers? Look at my left. These homes are tasteful. In my opinion, they're tasteful because they're all red brick. They got a little bit of wood accent on the second floor. They got a third floor with vinyl siding. I'm not a big fan of the vinyl siding, but hey, at least it's not too much of it. And there's a deck up top. I like the style of it. To me, that gives it a classy feel. You know, it's modern, but classy in the same note. You know what I mean? I don't know how you can put that in one sentence. Usually those two things don't go together. Modern and class don't go together. Sometimes modern things aren't classy, but then again, are they? I guess classy is based on opinion. Look at my left-hand side. Look up at that building, that single building that's standing on my left-hand side. You guys see it? Look up on the third floor. There's a spiral staircase that goes to the roof deck. I think that's decent. That's just my personal opinion. I think that that's decent. Now, the building is sided with cement. So y'all know how I feel about stucco and cement. I'm not the biggest fan of cement and stucco. However, you know, I think you can take little notes and details from each one of these little buildings or developments and make an insane creation. You got the Studion Med Spa on my right hand side. Looks like this is all filled apartments because look at those all different mailboxes. So those mailboxes probably lead to different apartments. You got a Dodge Charger in 1036, which is a relatively wide building. We're approaching George Street, Bodine and George Street. We've seen the young woman riding her child on the bike. She had him on a bike trailer. She was pulling him on the trailer, him or her. Look at the siding that they use for that building. Look at the side of the siding. Look at the side of the siding. It sounds funny, right? But look at that building. The front has wood panels. The side, it looks like some type of aluminum or metal, some grade of metal. You see it? Look at this walkway. Look down at the walkway. Look on my right. You guys see it, right? Look at my left. Look at the whole deck up there. Wow. And like I said, the buildings keep getting taller and taller, and the same type of residential block that, you know, the normal buildings that I grew up with would have been on, they just keep getting taller and taller. Pretty soon I'm gonna be walking through Philly looking at skyscrapers like this. I'm just be looking up like that smells horrible. It smells like bum juice, like the it smells like the trash truck went by, and you know that juice that drips from the trash truck. Ugh, it smells horrible. Look at that. They got little balconies at each doorway. And then these were old factories, the ones on my right and the ones in front of us. They were old factories, but they'll end up turning them to studios. They'll turn them to lofts. Pretty much rent. They do anything they can to maximize the profits. You know, they'll end up purchasing a building that probably cost them maybe $1.5 million, $2 million. They'll go dump another $2 million into it, $4 million investment or whatever. Then they'll rent each loft. They'll have, you know, 100, 200 lofts. And then they'll rent them what? $3-4 grand each, $5 grand each, depending on size, I guess. And people who coming from New York, from LA, from other places where their rent is a lot more or equivalent, they don't mind it. Believe it or not, over the last year alone, since I've been doing, you know, because I've been doing these tours for a little over 3.5 years, I would say almost 4 years. Believe it or not, within the last year alone specifically, I've been seeing, what's up, buddy? I love dogs. I've been seeing an immense amount of out-of-state tags. I mean, I'm talking about, look, Delaware, New York, on that Benz, and so on. A Jersey across the street. That goes to show you, that's just in like three looks. That's not including, you know, what's in each neighborhood. But I would say counted damn near 30 different state tags. Look at Virginia across the street. That's within one little area. I just randomly thought of that topic and boom, I haven't been paying attention to them. Who knew how many tags we passed by that I didn't even look at or I actually focus on? I was gonna say hello to him, but I don't think he felt comfortable. All right, we're at 3rd and Girard Ave. We're gonna cross back over to the Olde Kensington neighborhood. We got the free health clinic across the street. That lot right there on the left-hand side, next to the 57 bus stop and the 5 bus stop. I promise you that lot's gonna get filled up soon. Watch, it's either gonna be a whole strip of townhomes, or what they call townhomes, or they'll end up building one of those tall apartment, pretty much an apartment complex, you know what I mean? Yo, this dude slowly and casually went right through the red light. Oh, the trolley runs on Girard Avenue. You hear that, Merc? They just made this UPS store here a few years ago. But the trolley, the original trolley, the OG trolley, the OG carts, not the new SEPTA carts, but the original, like the dome style trolley carts, run on that block that we just passed by. Yep. For anybody who, you know, cares about trolleys, I know I got a viewer named Merc. At least that's his screen name. And every time he watches, he hopes to see one of those original trolleys. And they're still running. It's just, you know, you got to catch them at the right time. I bet you if I stood out there for like an hour, one of them will eventually pass by, but I don't think that'll be productive. That might be counterproductive. Yeah, that's the free health clinic. If you don't have insurance, you go there, and I believe they're able to help you. The Texas tags, you see? Texas. Yeah, I see them coming from all over, y'all. They're coming from all over in abundance. New York again. And it's funny because they're coming in and you got plenty of Philadelphia residents doing what? Moving out. So that's where the transfer of, I guess in this case, we're not gonna say wealth, but that's where the transfer of land comes into play. Because you got the original residents moving out because they feel no benefit of living here anymore, and or they can't afford to live here anymore. Then you got residents coming from out that want to move in because it's easily affordable for them and it's refreshing to them, you know? You know what's funny? Is that y'all know that I just went to I went to California, and you guys, I don't know if you haven't got a chance to take a look at my California videos, make sure you check them out. I was blown away. I was ecstatic. Compared to this environment, coming from this environment, California was beautiful. Even the hood in California, like Crenshaw and Inglewood and Watts, the hood looked good to me. It looked normal to me for the most part. It looked nice. It looked, you know, with the palm trees and all that, the stylization of the homes, they look relatively nice to me. Some people in my comments that are from LA, they say, oh, I lived here my whole life. This city's a shithole. Or, I'm tired of living in LA. This city sucks. So I guess it's vice versa. You got people who live in a city like this that are tired of living in it. You got people who live in a city like that that are tired of living in it. You got people from California flying to Philadelphia. You got people from Philadelphia flying to California, and so on. You know what I mean? So that just goes to show you. Look down, guys. Take a look at the leaves that fell off of the trees above us. You see how yellow the ground looks? Yeah, so that's a little synopsis at what's going on, you know, in the east. I guess this could be considered, this isn't true northeast, but when you go, so let's say you're on Broad Street, you travel northbound. Once you pass City Hall, you're on the north side of City Hall. Now, if you go, let's say, on Broad and Lehigh and make a left, you're in northwest. You're not really in northwest Philly because that's like, you know, East Falls, you know, Manayunk and all of that. However, theoretically speaking, if you look at a map, you're traveling west on Broad. Well, this is east on Broad. This is east on, what are we on right now? Master. So this is what the north side of Philadelphia is looking like right now. Like Florida tags. Florida. I told y'all, Florida. And let me tell you something about this last project right here before I tune out. This project right here on my right hand side that says now leasing, that project, it was on the World Wide Web. They disclosed what that project cost. That was a $6 million project right there. $6 million project. 1, 2, and 3 bedroom apartments. Look right there on my right hand side, that big white building. $6 million bucks. 1, 2, 3 bedroom apartments starting at $1,450 a month. $1,450. And I'm sure $1,450 probably just gets you a 1 bedroom apartment. If you want the 2, 3 bedrooms, you're probably looking more into the $2,000 range. And it depends on what amenities, because it also said parking. So, you know, I don't know if you're gonna get parking with it for that price, but that goes to show you. And a lot of those new buildings come equipped with like smart appliances, smart technology, smart TV. Obviously you got central air, central heat. They may or may not have a gym in there, I don't know, you know, something of that nature. Laundry room and so on. But that project right there cost $6 million bucks. It goes to show you. And that's just in that one block. That's not including on my left, these new, that's not included on the right. They're modern, and it's not including these. And you notice they're 2 different colors of stone, brown, and dark black, or blue. And then you got some light blue ones across the street. That's because they were all made by different developers, and they were all made at different periods. So they may have been completed 6 months apart from each other. But it goes to show you, yo. So with that being said, this is a little walking tour of the Old Kensington and Northern Liberties neighborhood. We didn't do both neighborhoods today in full detail. However, I do have them on my channel. So feel free to explore my page. Hit that thumbs up button, show some love, comment on the video after the video is done. If this is your first time witnessing this technology and you've never experienced this before, share this video with a friend or family member. I would greatly appreciate it. If you had, you know, a social network, you can share it via social network and or email. You can always text it to a family member. Just copy and paste the link in a text. You know, under the thumbs up button, there's a little arrow. Click that arrow, that, you know, it's like a turning arrow. You click that, a URL link's gonna come up. Copy that URL link and paste it anywhere. Social networking, email, or text. You know what I mean? So that you guys can actually help the channel reach its fullest potential. When Tune 215 reaches 50,000 subscribers, and when the YouTube channel Tune B Chillin' reaches 1,000 subscribers, That's 51,000 subscribers total between both channels. 50,000 on one channel, 1,000 on the other channel. I'm gonna post a free Gleam giveaway link that's gonna allow you, the viewer, 1 week to enter this giveaway. I'm gonna be giving away a brand new Go Trax e-scooter, new in the box, never been used. One lucky winner is gonna be able to get it. But if you wanna know when or where that link's gonna be posted, you gotta be subscribed to both channels. You know what I mean? And if you wanna help us reach 50,000 subscribers sooner, share the video. If I reach 50,000 subscribers next week, guess what I'm doing? If we reach those milestones, I'm start that giveaway next week. You know what I mean? And so on. You know what I mean? And then after that giveaway, we'll do more giveaways. But yeah, so I want to say thank you all for watching. I appreciate your support. Please don't forget, turn on that notification bell. If you don't turn on the notification bell, you won't get notified whenever a new video is released on this channel. A lot of people say, Tune, I didn't know your video was live right now, or I didn't know you posted a video until the next day. That's probably because your notification bell isn't turned on. So make sure your notification bell is turned on and set to all notifications. And this is your homeboy, Tune, Mr. Tune 215, Tune Dollars, Tune Ski, Tunism, Bad Tune, Tune One, Tuner, Tunage, Tune Be Chillin', Tune Cali Fragilistic, Expialidocious, Kensington Tune. Yeah, Tune out here in Philly, and I'm tuning out.